Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel, episode 17 of Making a Brewery. Today is Saturday, the 28th of March, and it's a momentous day. It's the first day we're going to get to brew on the Braumeister system. So, as you will have seen on the previous videos, we are very, very close to having everything signed off. Luckily, everything has been taken care of now. We have our manufacturer's license. The building is designated as a bonded warehouse, and we have everything in place ready to brew. So really, really excited and very, very nervous that I'm going to get to brew on the Braumeister nearly a year and 3 months after I bought it. So first time today. I'm going to try take some video footage because it would be a bit foolish of me after making all of these videos to not eventually film my first brew day. But I'm a little bit nervous as well because I've never used the system before. I've tried to walk everything through by doing a kind of a mock brew day with just water, seeing how everything flows, how I'm going to transfer from the brew system into the fermenter, etc., how I'm going to sanitize everything, all of that type of stuff. But as you guys no doubt know, things will go wrong on a brew day. And I've already realised that. I came in this morning and I've noticed a slight little leak on one of the pipes in the Braumeister system. Now, it's not something that's going to stop my brew day, but it's something I'm going to need to take care of. So I just would need to be aware that today may not be the smoothest day, but I'm prepared for that. It's about 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to get started in a few moments on crushing my grain and making sure all of my water additions are weighed out and the hops, etc. And I'm aiming to be mashing in around 9 a.m. So stay with me for the journey. It's going to be an exciting day. So first things first is crushing the grains, and for this I'm brewing a stout today, actually, the Dove Black Gold Irish Stout. So for the base malt in this, I need 31.09 kilograms of ale malt, and that would be from Minch. So that's one of those there. And let me grab this second one here. And what else do I need? Then I need 3.48 kilograms of roasted barley, 2.72 of wheat malt, 770 grams of brown malt, and the same of chocolate malt. So my specialty malts are just over here, so I'm just going to be off screen for a second. I'm tired already. So, bucket on the weighing scales. Turn on said weighing scales. Make sure it's at 0. It is. And then our grain will be going directly into this. Now, this is always something that's bugged me. With the Simpsons malts, you get a nice handy to open, pull the narrow tape here, and it just rips straight open. These bags take an eternity to open, and I know there is a trick to doing it really fast, but I don't know how to do it. So, brains trust, tell me how. I think it's something like I have to snip something here, and then theoretically the whole thing should just pull open. Never works for me. So I typically have to go through every single thread, which is a pain in the nuts, and takes a lot of time. So yeah, if anybody knows how to open these bags really quickly, please do send me some advice or a quick video that may already exist on YouTube somewhere. Okay, that should do it. Right, so what did I say we're looking for here? 31.09 grams, I think. What did I do with my brew sheet? Fucking hell, Derek. Yeah, 31.09. Right. Mill on. And move. It's not easy work. I'm guessing this could take a while. I don't know whether you can even hear me now with that mill going. This could take a while. So I'll come back to you once I have all the grain milled. Whew. Okay, that's all the grains mashed now. A bit of a dirty task because lots of grain dust everywhere. 3 full buckets essentially. I had to use the 4th bucket for the specialty grains, but I've emptied it into these. They're just 30 litre plastic fermenters from Gael. Probably need an extra one of them just in case, but that's that done. So next stage, moving on to calibrating my pH meter and then weighing out my water additions as well. So I'm gonna get cracking on that. So first things first, the calibration of the pH meter. This is essential. A lot of people, me included, up until recently, don't realise that you really do need to calibrate your pH meter on every single brew day because it does vary and knocks out a kilter after a couple of samples. So you want to make sure that you're on point and it's exactly where you want it to be on your brew day, because if it's not, it's leading to incorrect readings, which in turn are going to throw off your measurements and throw off your beer. So if you're trusting that it says your pH is 5.3, for example, when it's actually 5.5, that is definitely a problem. So, not a massive problem, but if you want to be spot on, then you should be aiming for perfection. So both of those samples are around 12 degrees. So I'll adjust my temperature on the pH meter. So I'll go with the 4 solution first of all. So at the temperature of around 10 degrees Celsius, that should be measuring bang on 4.0. And this goes to show you how much this can be off. So mine at the moment is measuring 3.94. So that's 0.6 off, or 3.95. So I need to make that adjustment to bring that up to 4.0. So that could have been throwing me off by half a point there today. And I only calibrated that meter maybe a week ago on my last pilot brew day. So there, get it right. It's a fiddly little thing just to get it bang on 4.0. Okay, and give it a little rinse and then throw it into the 7 solution, or 7.0. And at 10 degrees, the 7.0 solution should actually be measuring 7.7. It's actually amazing how far these are off at the moment. I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe I was... Yeah, it's really weird. This one is measuring 6.98, so it's massively off, like nearly a full point off. So let me get that up to 7.7. Okay, so that's 4 step done. Next step is I'm going to be... This This is showing off weird readings at the moment. I'm not really sure. I put it up to 7.7 and then it went back to 7.0. Okay, let me get this calibrated, and then the next step is measuring out my water additions for the mash. I'll get that done and then we can start to mash in. Right, so pH meter is calibrated. I learned something really, really weird there. So when I said that the pH meter was wildly, wildly off, it was like moving up and down. It was going all over the place. But when I stood in front of the samples and blocked the sunlight, so there's sunlight coming directly in from behind the camera there into the window, you can probably see it's lighter there on the table. The sunlight was throwing off the pH measurement. Now that's, I don't know anything about pH meters, but I didn't realize that light would throw off the measurement, or direct sunlight. It seemed to be going haywire. But as soon as I stood in front of it, blocked the light, it just plateaued and leveled out at the right level of where it should be, 4.0 and 7.7. So really, really weird. You learn something new every day. So water additions, I need to add 25 grams of baking soda. 25, which is sodium bicarbonate. 25 grams. Now, 20, 23, 24. So this, of course, is to harden up the water for the stout. 25, bang on. Okay. Now, what else do I got? I need 4.5 grams of Epsom salt. Or magnesium sulfate. So 4.5 grams. 4.6. We won't argue over 0.1. There that again, and then I'm looking for 35 grams of calcium chloride. 35.05. Good enough. And then I also need 22 grams of gypsum. I don't think I have 22 grams there, so I may need to go to the big bag in a second, the 25 kilogram bag I bought this week. 22 grams. Oh, I will have 22 grams here. By the looks of it. Um, 21.2 and yeah, more or less 22. Come on, yeah, 22.06. Again, good enough. Right, that's the water additions. What's next? That's the mash water additions. I will need to measure out the sparge ones as well. I do also need some other little bits, so bear with me a moment and I'll come back when I'm mashing in. I'll throw that into the water and I'll show you what's mashing in. Right, so that's the Braumeister. It's up to temp, so I had this when I woke up this morning. I can with this Braumeister mobile app, I could. Oh, why is the heat gone off? Now I thought it was up to temp. It's actually only up to 65 degrees. I must have stupidly knocked off the heating when I came in somehow, when I was playing around with things. So I'll need to wait a few minutes to get it up to 70 strike temperature. Mash in is at 66, or mash temp is 66, should I say. So that's filled up nicely with 230 litres of water. That malt pipe, as it's called, will need to be hoisted up, popped in there, and then we'll add in these kind of filter plates as we go as well. So I'll show you what that looks like once we're ready to get mashed in. We're up to mash temperature, probably in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. Okay, this is the moment of truth. First time I've ever done this. So mash temperature is 66 degrees. The water is currently sitting at 69.5 strike temperature. So what I need to do is get this malt pipe in there, positioned correctly, and then I'll add in the sieve plates. So let's give this a go. Now we want this nice and central. So I need to do this slowly. Just to get it in exactly where I want it. It's like being a crane driver, lowering something into place. So there's an element in the middle of this, so you kind of want it sitting nice and flush outside the element. Here we go. So that's step number one. Malt pipe is in. Now, move that out of the way. Step number two is to position, I don't know what you call these plates. I'm sure there's an official name from Braumeister for them. But that goes onto the center pipe, if I can get it on there. And that should just slide down. Should slide down, it's not, it's quite stiff. Yeah, it should go down until it sits flush against the little edges down there. So that's that. And now I think I can mash in now. And then, yeah. So actually, bear with me a moment. I should have been a little bit better prepared here. So I need this thingy. And I need a few screw nuts as well. I thought I was missing those, but I have them. Okay, so let's get mashing in. I'm not sure really what way is the best way to do this, whether to just pour that bucket straight in or whether to do it incrementally with the shovel. I think, let me get some gloves on first of all, because I don't want to scald myself at any point. So, safety is important in a brewery. Getting gloves that fit you is also important. These are not the best. Kind of a snug fit. Right, let's go. Right, just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Mash in. Still need to add some glucanase, the enzyme, to help with the mash. But yeah, here goes. Wish me luck. Well, that was pretty painless. Let me show you what that looks like. So we'll just give that a bit of a mash around to make sure there's no dough balls. Okay, let's get bucket number 2 in there. I'm not gonna lie, this smells absolutely wonderful already. Probably need to get myself a little step ladder here, so I'll have another step ladder over there. I'll get up in a second, but something a little bit smaller maybe, just so I can get in at this. A little bit disappointed today. I was supposed to be at the National Homebrew Championships, not entering them, but I was supposed to be stewarding there today, and really disappointed to miss that. But after we got the license this week, number 1 priority was getting this beer on and getting it out to market as soon as possible. So I wish all the lads and ladies at the National Homebrew Championship up in Rascals in Dublin the best of luck today. I will be watching the results come in a little bit later. And best of luck to all participating. Try to get the camera a bit closer so you can see this. A few dough balls in there, but I think we're getting there. Right, let's get bucket number 3 in, and then we're good to go. Current temperature is sitting at 68 degrees, so hopefully this last bucket will get it down to 66 and we can get going with the mash. Actually, I'm going to need to get the ladder here just so I can get in at this properly. quite a thick mash. So they recommend, shit, I'm not getting a bit of grain outside the basket there. That's first mistake of the day. They recommend, I think 42 litres, or 42 kilograms is the maximum grain amount on this system. But I've spoken to people who've pushed it above that limit. I think some tell me they went up to 50. Yeah, I think that would be stretching it a little bit. Right, I think that's us more or less sufficiently mashed in before I add the top plate. Yeah, I think we're good there. Okay, so next step is to add this like mesh fabric over the top of the mash. Make sure that's placed well all the way around. I guess that's just an extra layer of filtration to make sure there's no grain getting through, although I've already got a bit through. We live and learn, we live and learn. Okay, that's that one on. And then the top plate, which I believe needs to be screwed down, although I will probably need to refer to the manufacturer's instructions in a moment on this one. Yeah, pretty sure that it gets screwed down. Like so, and then the retaining pipe goes on top, and that always also gets screwed on. And now we're more or less good to go. However, I can notice that I have a lot of grain on the outside here, so I'm just going to try scoop some of this off, so it's not overflowing into the where it shouldn't be, into the pumps. So just some grains there. Oh, nearly forgot to add the gluconase. So 25 mils, and then we're good to go. So that's 20 and another 5 in a moment. 25. Okay, so we are good to go. Just want to check the temperature, which is 67.5, so it's slightly above the 66 that we want it to be. However, I'm okay with that. I think as soon as we start recirculating, it should be good, and it should lower pretty quickly. So I want to make sure all my valves are open on the pumps down below where they should be. They all look good. Right, let me take off these gloves and we can watch this together, if I can get the camera over. That's what it looks like at the moment. And then Alexa, set an alarm for 60 minutes. And we're gonna turn on the pump. I'm doing this in manual mode because you'll see it rising there and essentially spilling over the top in a moment. So yeah, doing it in manual mode today because I just like to have control of everything on the first run rather than the system itself automating it. So the pump comes from up through the malt pipe and essentially filters through the grain bed, and then this should overflow down the sides, and then again it's being kind of recirculated up through and over the top. Guys, this smells absolutely delicious. Here we go, the cascade starts. And we are mashing. So it is just nearly 9:30. So I did start the mashing around about 9 a.m. It's now 9:30 in the morning. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Right, I am going to stick the lid on. Actually, no, I'm not going to stick the lid on. It's up to temperature, so the lid is intended to help you get up to temperature, but I'm guessing I shouldn't leave it on while it's mashing. Right, I'm going to check out here for a bit and do some cleaning. So I didn't realise at this point that my mic had stopped working, but this is me just removing the retaining bar at the top, which would be allowing me to hoist up the malt pipe out of the Braumeister. Just have to make sure that you get it all hooked up correctly there and then start to hoist it up. I did struggle a little bit with this. It does weigh quite heavy, so you have to be careful just to do it incrementally, make sure it's not going to splash back into the Braumeister. But yeah, just hoist it up to a sufficient level that it can drain off. So as you can see here, I had heated up about 30 litres of Oro water in my grain father. The Braumeister manual suggests that if you use 230 litres of brewing water for your mash, that you should sparge with around 20 to 40 litres. So I went for the midpoint here, around 30 litres, just to get me back up to about 230 litres pre-boil. So my strategy here generally is do about 60% of the sparge directly over the grains, and then the other, well, probably about 65% or 66% actually, and then the other 33% straight into the boil kettle. So it's not to over extract any tannins when you're sparging. I also added in my brewing salts into directly into the brew kettle as well. I think at this point, yeah, that was a visit from my wife Alex, who had kindly gone to buy me a weighing scales because my own mini system doesn't go above 150 grams, the small scales, so I needed something to weigh out the hops, and she had kindly purchased that for me, interrupting the sparge in the process. But yeah, I continued on here. As I mentioned, the last 10 litres went directly into the boil kettle to get me up to about 230 litres overall. Obviously, I needed to let it drain off, and that took a bit of time. But once it was fully drained, I had upped the temperature on the Braumeister up to 100 degrees and removed the malt pipe here, pushed that off to the side, and then just gave it a little stir and waited. And when that was heating up, now obviously we want the brewery to be as sustainable as possible, and we want to reduce the amount of waste that we have. So obviously this spent grain will go to a local farmer for cattle feed. So rather than us dumping this, we can give it back and it goes straight back into the food chain. So there's zero waste from our spent grain. Okay, that bag's completely full, and I'm going to stop here because I'm quite clumsy, and if I put any more in that, it's going to tip over and spill everywhere. So let me get something else to empty the rest into. So just checking the pre-boil gravity on the Anton Pars Easy Dens, and I'm at 1.040. The expected pre-boil gravity for this beer is 1.041, so I'm 0.1 out, which is grand standard tolerances. That's perfect. Bang on where I should be, so I'm happy enough at this stage. I haven't checked the pH, but let me just give a bash of that. So the pH is currently sitting at approximately 5.38, so that's also good as well. Let me see, pre-boil, let me take note of this. Pre-boil pH 5.37. The mash pH I was aiming for was 5.5, and if you recall, it was 5.83. Added 50 ml of lactic and got it down to 5.31, but it's gone back up again to 5.37. So we're still within range, more or less. I'd like it to be a little bit tighter, but I'm happy enough with those numbers. Temperature wise, we are up to 89.5 degrees, and I think we've been from 67 degrees, which are 66 degrees, up to now. We're getting close to an hour to get up to that temperature. Nearly, what, 90 degrees, is it? Yeah, nearly 90 degrees. So I would expect it to be at least another half an hour to get up to boil. But it's fine. It gives me plenty of time to get the cleaning done and all the other bits and pieces, so I can clean as I go. I'm not rushing in between stages as I probably would be on the small system, the grain fatter. Here I have plenty of time to get the cleaning done whilst everything's getting up to temperature. So I'm kind of, yeah, it's a little bit less stressful, I feel, actually. I was expecting today to be really stressful. Still a lot of things that can go wrong. Still have to go through the boil, still have to transfer into the fermenter, etc. But so far, so good. Right, welcome back. So it has been, how long? I don't know whether you can see that or not, but 1 hour, 30 minutes, bang on. And we are up to 100.5 degrees Celsius. So, I'm a little bit confused. It's not boiling, but it says it's 100 degrees. However, on this, you can set the actual temp to, sorry, the sun is blocking this, 103 degrees. So I don't really know. I'm going to give it a few more minutes before starting my 60-minute timer. There's a few bubbles forming there and a little bit of a hot break. So maybe altitude-wise, I don't know where we are at the moment. Boiling point is probably above 100 degrees. Does that make sense? I don't know whether it does or not. But I'll give it a few minutes, see does it go up any higher, see does it start a little bit of a rolling boil, and then I'll start the timer. Whew, I've done a lot of cleaning. I've got that done. It still needs obviously a bit of a proper NZ Brew 10 clean in the Braumeister once everything's done, but it's all the hard soil stuff is off it, and everything else is kind of as clean as I'm going to get it for the moment. So yeah, I'll check back in a little bit. Right, quick update. It's about 5 minutes later. That has gone up to 101.5 degrees Celsius, so above 100 degrees, not quite 103, which is the highest it goes up to. But it is, I guess you could say, boiling. It's not the rigorous rolling boil I'd want to see, but I think I'll start my 60 minutes here and add my hop addition. So, yeah, it may go up a little bit higher and it may get to a rolling boil, but I think I'll just give it a, yeah, it's definitely getting there. You can see it there now. So I'll add my hop addition now, which is, it's in there. I think it's about 300 grams of Fuggles, 350 grams of Fuggles. First hop addition. Okay, that's it. The boil is done. I measured the pre or post boil gravity with about 10 minutes to go. I was at 1.044, so 2 points above where I was hoping to be, which is fine. I was able to then liquor back with about 10 litres of water, which I've had boiling away in the grandfather there. The pH a little bit on the low side, so that is currently at 5.19, so 5.20. I'd like that to be kind of 1 point higher. Now I could make an adjustment now, but I'm not gonna. It's the first time ever brewing on this system. I need to just find my way around, and I'll look to make some adjustments potentially in my water additions next time, or potentially dial back the amount of lactic I added in earlier this time. So next up is I'm going to be cooling down the wort. So I'm going to do that with the built-in cooling jacket on the Braumeister. So I'll hook up a cold water into the bottom here. The waste water or the excess water that's coming out of here will go back into my IBC tank. So I'm not wasting any water that I'm using for cooling. It'll go back into the storage there for use again. So let me get set up on that. And yeah, let me check I'll show you what I'm doing as I'm setting this up. So first things first is connecting up the cold water. So we do that with our hose here. So disconnect that. We're going to put the cold water in the bottom, and then I need to hook up pipe going out of here. Now what I realized when I was testing this out yesterday with hot water is I need to get myself some heat resistant pipes, because general garden hoses don't handle heat too well. So it didn't kind of melt or fall off, but I just want to make sure. I don't think I'm on screen at the moment, but essentially this waste pipe is going into the IBC tank, so we're recovering any of that water that we're using and not wasting it. So again, trying to be as sustainable as humanly possible. So what I'm going to do is, it's obviously at 100 degrees now. I am going to start cooling, and I'm also going to pop on the lid, because I'm very conscious as we cool this down in this vessel, the more we cool it down, the more susceptible it can be to foreign objects, organisms getting in there. And I think we've boiled off any compounds in there during the boil, so putting the lid on it now shouldn't cause any issues. So let me get that in. And we're gonna start the cooling. Now, it's my guess that this is probably going to take about an hour. According to the manual, it can take anything from 50 minutes to 2 hours. I suppose that's depending on your surface water. Now, it is also recommended as well to run a whirlpool, which I might give a go in a few moments. So you can run the pump out of this pipe here and into here, and it'll create a whirlpool effect inside, and it'll just aid with the cooling, because you know, the liquid is floating around in there. So yeah, I think I might give that a go. What I'm also going to do though is just set a timer here so I can understand what are my cool down times and get a better sense of how long a brew day is going to take me on a regular basis. So when I tried this with water yesterday, it was cooling down fairly fast. Like, yeah, I've just switched that on, and it's already, it was over 100 degrees, it's down to 97 now straight away. So like it cools fairly fast. So what I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting for that to cool down over the next hour or so, is I'm going to start running a clean wash through the pipes down here and through the pump to clear out any of the beer, because I don't want, once we eventually are running the beer off here into the fermenter, I don't want anything to get infected. So I'm going to run a solution of peracetic acid through that with pumps, etc., and get that ready for transfer. I'll keep you posted. Let me get back to you in a little bit because I have a few things I need to do. Okay, I'm back. That's cooling away there now, so it's down to 73 degrees Celsius. It has been on for 14 minutes, so it's moving in the right direction. So this contraption here, so what I'm doing is essentially using this as a CIP. So there's hot water in there, which I'm about to add some NZ Brew to, and then, so basically the water will come out of the tank here, go around here, and this is an adaptation that the previous owner made to this Braumeister. So we shut off this valve here, so there's nothing going up into the beer, and then basically the water is going to come through there, down there, across into washing the pump, but there's no connection. If you can see, that little valve is switched off in there. Again, nothing can get out into the beer. Then it comes back out here into the pump, and then back up and into that again. So it's intended to clean the pipework before we then start, in a little while, once it's cooled down to temperature, start transferring across. And so I'm going to do this, a run of NZ Brew just to clean things out, then do a run of peracetic acid, and then I think we'll begin the transfer. So yeah, I think we're good. Let me nip back in a second once I've got it going. Okay, NZ Brew 10 has been added, 150 grams for 30 litres of water. So next step is we're going to open this valve, and we're going to open this one. Shit. Well, it's half open. Hope that doesn't affect it. And then we're going to open this to let some water out. And then, this is going to make a lot of noise, so forgive me. But we should see oh, yeah, that was a mistake because I've just pumped a lot of beer particles back into my NZ Brew 10. Oh, let me, let me just stop that for a second. So yeah, what I should have done there is the first round of the pump maybe just dumped into a bucket, and then once it ran clear, start feeding it back into that. So essentially, yeah, I've got beer coming through there now, and it's going to be mixing up with the NZ Brew 10. But look, we'll run it through, it'll give it a clean, and then I'll be able to give it the run of the peracetic acid as well. So let's go. The noise is nothing but it hitting off that plastic. That pump is semi-broken, so apologies for the noise. But yeah, essentially, that's our NZ Brew 10 running through there, but it's full of beer, so it's kind of looking a bit dark. But we'll give it a good run through for about 10 minutes or so. So it gives a bit of a clean, and then we'll run the peracetic acid through it, and we'll be done and we'll be ready to go then. So where are we now? 65 degrees Celsius, and that's taken 21 minutes. So I'll keep you guys posted, but yeah, it's going to take a little while. It's now 2 p.m. in the day, so I started here this morning at 8 a.m. Took me an hour or so to get the grains milled and the things weighed out and stuff like that, and then I smashed in around 9. So it's 2 p.m. now. So what's that? 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. 6 hours so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm here till 5 p.m. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted. So welcome back, you good people. So where am I? So I ran the NZ Brew solution through the pipes to clean them out, and then after that was done, I emptied that tank, filled it up with a solution of peracetic acid, and ran that through the pipes as well. So all of the internal parts of that pump and pipe should be clean and sanitized now. Then I transferred the peracetic acid solution from that tank into this tank, the Brew Tools F300, and now I've hooked it up that I'm going to run a kind of a CIP within here up into the CIP ball, spray ball up there. So turn on the pump, and that's running through there. So that'll give that a good sanitization before we transfer it in, which is not too far away because we are at 33.5 degrees, and that has taken 1 hour 14 minutes. So I'd say we're at least another maybe 20 minutes away at least before we're down to around 19 degrees and we can transfer it across. Hopefully you can hear me now because there's a lot of noise from that pump, but we're getting very close. It is now 2:50 p.m. But we're getting close to transfer and pitching yeast and then doing a bit of a clean up and having a beer. So place is a bit of a mess, as you would expect, but once this is transferred across I can do a clean up and sit down. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, it's been an hour and 50 minutes and we're down to 25 degrees Celsius in there. So I think I'm going to just transfer it across, and I think it'll cool down a degree or two as it's transferred across, and then the final few degrees I'll let the glycol chiller take care of before I pitch the yeast. So I'm not exactly sure how to do this. I don't know if I should turn on the pump or not in the Braumeister. I think I should, but I'm going to experiment a little bit here. So open up the valve there. Let me see, and then turn on the pump here, which should drag the wort through there and up into the Brew Tools F300. Let's see if that works. Hey, we have one. Still in through. Quite fast, right? So, slow that down ever so slightly. Not sure how. So, I'll know in a few minutes what temperature it's gone into the tank at, but it seems to be flowing in fairly fast anyway. And I haven't turned on the pump in the Braumeister. So let me just check here. Yeah, we're down to 25 degrees here. As it goes up into this, I expect maybe lose a degree or two, and it still all has to transfer across as well. Just a quick line here. Right, I need to add some ADLC or ALBC, 5 mils in there to stop. Apologies, I just realised I hadn't got my microphone switched on, so it should be on now. Hopefully you heard me with all the commotion going on there. But yeah, I'm just about to add in 5 mils of ALDC to stop the formation of the acetal. So And there. I also want to add in my tilt hydrometer. I'm not sure if it's going to work with the thick walls, jacketed walls of the brew tools, but we shall find out. So let me give that a good whack of Star San before it goes in. I'll be able to tell you in a minute whether that's working or not. And then also, I do want to take a sample down here for just to check the final gravity. Actually, let me dump that sample off just quickly and then take another one. So I'll get a final gravity check on that in a few minutes. So the temperature inside the tank at the moment is shown as around 22.9. And I believe, yeah, I can see the glycol chiller has kicked in already. So that'll start to cool that down straight away. And just have a quick peek in here and see how we're doing. Yeah, we're motoring along. Yeah, so that's more or less it. I'll pitch the yeast in a second. You don't need to see me doing that, but all in all, this brew day is more or less finished, and it is 3:30 of the day. For the next hour and a half, probably, I'll need to do a bit of cleaning and clean the Braumeister and stuff. So I should be finished by 5. So 8 a.m. to 5, 9 hours. I could definitely cut that down a little bit if I had a plate chiller, a good plate chiller. I did buy this one from Polsinelli, and it's not really up to the task. So I'll need to invest in a proper one to cut down the time, because nearly an hour and 50 minutes to get down to temperature. I'm sure I could shave that down to about 30 minutes with a proper plate chiller. So yeah, 23 degrees inside the tank. Let me get this finished up and then I'll wrap things up on the video. Oh God. So the brew day is done. It's 5 to 4 p.m. I still need to clean the Braumeister and everything like that, but it's beer's in the tank, yeast is pitched, it's down to 19 degrees. Actually, once I transferred it across at like 22, 23 degrees when it went into the tank, the glycol chiller had it down to 19 within. And again, I have no idea what happened here, but it looks like the mic went again. So I think, look, I was just summing up on the brew day. It was an uneventful, fairly smooth brew day. Yeah, so overall, I was really happy with how everything went. It was my first time, obviously, brewing on the Braumeister system, so I was expecting some issues along the way. But apart from the fact that it took nearly 2 hours to cool the wort down in the system itself, so obviously a learning from that is I'm going to have to get myself a good, decent heat exchanger. But overall, I think the brew day took me around about 8 hours or 9 hours or so. I had dropped the tilt hydrometer into the Brew Tools F300 fermenter, and that's what I was checking on the screen here, just to see was it actually transmitting. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I think the skin on those jackets is too thick for the tilt hydrometer to come through. So at this point, I was just pouring myself a lovely drop of Lanidrum Pale Ale, which is beautifully packaged and ready to give out some samples to local bars. So I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I've been brewing those over the last few weeks to give out to some bars and restaurants and shops as samples. But that's it, yeah. Thank you for watching.